How many hours of your life have you spent trying to solve a problem that a few days later basically solved itself? You're stuck between option A and option B, maybe C. You think about it in the shower. You talk it through with someone. You run the possibilities again before bed. You wake up the next morning and somehow you're still thinking about it. Then something happens. An email arrives. Someone calls. You learn one piece of information you didn't have before. Option F appears. You didn't even know option F existed. And suddenly the thing you spent 3 days worrying about isn't a problem anymore. The answer wasn't hidden inside another hour of thinking. It simply wasn't available yet. This happens all the time. So how do you know when something needs more effort and when it simply needs more time? When should you push? When should you wait? And how much of what we call problem solving is really just our discomfort with not knowing? There's obviously a time to think, gather information, compare your options, ask for advice, make the call, send the email. Useful thinking moves something forward. But there comes a point where you're no longer gathering anything new. You're running the same information through your head again and again, hoping that if you think about it hard enough, certainty will somehow appear. That's where thinking starts turning into worry. And there's actually a psychological concept that helps explain why we do this. It's called intolerance of uncertainty. Some people find not knowing particularly uncomfortable. So the mind keeps checking, analyzing, predicting, and rehearsing, almost as if enough mental effort could remove the uncertainty. But sometimes it can't. Sometimes there simply isn't enough information yet. So one of the most useful questions you can ask yourself is, am I still solving this? Or am I just trying to escape the feeling of not knowing? Those are very different things. There's another reason this matters. Sometimes the answer comes after you stop consciously searching for it. We've all experienced this in a small way. You're trying to remember someone's name. You can almost feel it. It's on the tip of your tongue, the edge of your mind. You push harder, you go through the alphabet, you picture the person, nothing. Eventually you give up. 20 minutes later, while you're doing something completely unrelated, there it is. The name just appears. Something similar can happen with more complicated problems as well. Psychologists call this the incubation effect. You work on something for a while, get stuck, step away, and later return with an idea or connection you couldn't see before. Now that doesn't mean your subconscious is some magical computer that will solve every problem while you go to the beach, but it does suggest something important. Putting a problem aside doesn't always mean you've stopped working on it. Sometimes distance is part of the process. I think of it like a glass of muddy water. If you keep stirring it because you desperately want the water to become clear, you're actually preventing the thing you want. At some point, you have to put the glass down. Then the sediment can settle. The water clears on its own. Our minds can be like that. Sometimes another action helps. Sometimes another conversation helps. Sometimes another hour of thinking helps. But eventually, another stir is just another stir. And the difficulty is recognizing when you've reached that point. This is where it gets tricky because just let it go can be terrible advice. Sometimes you really do need to push. You need to make the uncomfortable call. Try again. Finish the thing. Stay with something even though progress is slow. Patience can easily become avoidance, but persistence can also become force. You keep pounding the same door because stopping feels like failure. You keep trying to make a decision when you don't have the information required to make it. You keep demanding clarity from a situation that hasn't finished unfolding. The sweet spot, I think, is something like active patience. You do what's yours to do. Then you stop pretending that everything else is yours too. That's different from passivity. You're not saying everything will magically work out. You're saying, I've done what I reasonably can with what I know right now, and I trust myself to respond when the next piece arrives. That's a much more grounded version of trust the process. So when you're caught between pushing harder and letting things unfold, I'd ask yourself 3 questions. First, is there a useful action available to me right now? If there is, take it. Second, will more thinking give me anything new? If you're reviewing the same facts for the 10th time, probably not. And third, am I working on the problem or am I trying to get rid of the discomfort of uncertainty? That last one may be the most important. Sometimes the next move is action. Sometimes the next move is patience. And sometimes stepping away is what allows the next move to become visible. I think we underestimate how often life contributes to the solution. Tomorrow has information today doesn't have. People change their minds. Circumstances move. Something becomes available. A conversation happens. Option F shows up. So be proactive when there's something useful to do. Think while the thinking is producing something. Persist while the effort is still taking you somewhere. And then, when you reach the edge of what you can actually know or do, put the glass down. You don't have to solve tomorrow's problem with today's information. And if you find that difficult, if your mind keeps going back to the same decision or problem even when you know there's nothing more you can do right now, that's actually one reason I created the Sanctuary session inside the free Subconscious Starter Kit. It's a guided audio that gives you a chance to slow everything down, calm some of the mental noise, and check in with yourself from a quieter place. Sometimes the next step becomes clearer there, and sometimes what becomes clear is that there is no next step yet. Both are useful answers. You can find the free starter kit below. And the next time you catch yourself worrying about the same thing for the 5th time, ask yourself one question. Is there anything useful left for me to do right now? If the answer is no, maybe you're done for today. Remember, breakthroughs begin within. Bye for now.